November the 30th, 2017. Guys, if you haven't heard, yesterday, November the 29th, the judge ordered the release of Cliven Bundy and Ammon Bundy and co-defendant Ryan Payne during the Nevada trial. Guys, this goes as deep as the CIA getting raided by Trump's Marines at Langley. They've confiscated the computers. They're analyzing it. Indictments are being signed all the way from going back to 9/11, guys. Think about that. But this is very good. Now, one thing about it, they didn't release everybody. And Cliven Bundy said he would not leave until they released everybody that was there. And you see one of the fellows there holding up the picture of Robert Finnegan. We've watched this since day one. We've got a petition on our website. It looks like the evil behind the Clinton takeover of American land via the Bureau of Land Management has been outed. Now, this is a pre-trial release. Why would they do that? They know it's not going to hold up in court, and they know that Trump's going to let these guys go. Now, what they've got to do is go in there, release the rest of the people. And Pete Santelli's been out over a month. He was just kind of classified as a reporter there. But this is really great news. If Hillary had gotten in, these guys would be buried. We would never hear from them again. They would be kept there while she raped the land. That's how bad this is. And if you're a Democrat and you can't appreciate what has happened, you need to just move out of the country, because you are lost and it's hopeless to try to help you through what's been going on. If you're so brainwashed that you don't see that this country was about to be completely overthrown, you need to get a life. A federal judge Wednesday ordered Nevada cattleman Cliven Bundy, his son Ammon Bundy, and co-defendant Ryan Payne be released to house arrest as their federal conspiracy trial is underway in Las Vegas. But the senior Bundy said he wouldn't accept the release conditions and objected to being let out of custody while other co-defendants in the Bunkerville standoff case still remain behind bars, according to his lawyer, Brett Whipple. Cliven Bundy is a man of principle, and the conditions of his release violated his principles. His position is he never did anything wrong, so he felt accepting the conditions of his release would be acknowledging wrongdoing. The sudden reversal by U.S. District Judge Gloria M. Navarro came at the end of the day following a sealed court hearing Wednesday morning in which the judge and lawyers from both sides addressed multiple pending defense motions seeking dismissal of this case due to the alleged delays or alleged withholding of discovery evidence by the federal government of information that could help in the defendant's case. That's what I'm saying. Thank God that Trump has come into office. Whether you like him or not, he is stopping this takeover. Judge Navarro re-evaluated the weight of the evidence and found her concerns were mitigated, said Daniel Hill, one of Ammon Bundy's lawyers. Ammon Bundy is expected to be released between 8 and 9 a.m. Thursday, said attorney Jay Porgan Philpott, Ammon Bundy's Utah lawyer. He will stay at a friend's house or relative's home in the North Las Vegas area and won't be allowed to leave Clark County without approval from a pretrial service officer. Navarro told lawyers she planned to send Oregon's U.S. District Judge Anna J. Brown her proposed conditions for Payne's release before Payne could be released from custody, according to defense lawyer. And that was because Payne had pleaded guilty to conspiracy in the 2016 armed takeover of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge and awaits sentencing in the Oregon case. On Wednesday, Navarro ordered Cliven Bundy, son Ammon Bundy, and Payne to be released to a third-party custodian who pretrial service officers had to vet before releasing the defendants. They're expected to be placed under house arrest with electronic monitoring. If Cliven Bundy, 71, doesn't sign a form that he accepts these release conditions, he will likely remain in custody, Whipple said. He also said he's never had a client before object to a judge's release. He said, "I'd prefer to be detained," Whipple said. "He's the boss and I accept his position." He is not leaving any men behind. He's a true American patriot and he stood for his rights from day one. Ammon Bundy didn't expect a release decision Wednesday, but we were pleasantly surprised, as lawyers said. Clive and Bundy's two sons in Payne face federal conspiracy, assault, and extortion charges, accused of amassing armed supporters to thwart federal rangers and contractors from carrying out court orders to round up Bundy cattle, illegally grazing on public land near Bunkerville. A jury trial began November 14th and is expected to last 4 months. This is what Harry Reid did with Hillary and Obama behind him. Everyone remembers the Bundy standoff. This happened before the Malheur Wildlife Refuge standoff happened. But what it was, one of the first presidential orders that Trump did was to defang and demilitarize the Bureau of Land Management. We saw this coming, and we've kind of been wondering. But imagine what Trump is going through, guys. You've got to give him a lot of credit, because in this short time, he won't be there till a year, until January 20th, okay? In this short time, he has almost taken down the deep state. Guys, again, there's more and more evidence coming in that the CIA was raided by the Marines and that Marine Expeditionary Unit. People were taken into custody. All the computers, all the files have been confiscated. Again, George Bush and that bunch may be implicated in 9/11, as well as the bin Laden family. There is so much going on undercover that it's going to be amazing when it all comes to pass, guys, when we can actually see the whole picture. Now, I'm going to link to another video when I'm through with this, and it's an ex-Marine colonel that's talking about this, and he's talking about QAnon and the posts we've been seeing there with 4chan, and he talks about some of the things I'm talking about here. But he does another thing that we do, and he's saying, guys, you need to get, according to all of his Marine and military contacts, at least 2 weeks supply of food and water. At least. And they're saying that because if there is the counter coup thing with the martial law, they're hoping that it would be over by that point. Again, a couple other things I want to talk about. You've got your quake 7 miles outside of Dover Air Force Base. Came in as a 5.1. Now they've lowered it to a 4.4. Before that, in the Atlantic, in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, you had a very strong 6-point+ quake. Were they related? Or is there something going on underground that we don't know about? We've seen a lot of booms lately. We've talked about the piezoelectric reaction when these plates grind together. You get these light emissions and these flashes and an audio burst also from that. But it's very strange where the 4.4 that they lowered down was. Again, 7 miles outside of Dover Air Force Base. If it is strictly earthquake pressure, then that is a danger sign in itself because of the strong quake that was east of that out into the Atlantic Ocean earlier. Very strong. Is that pressure moving inland? Times are strange. It's going to be hard to tell. We get very little information. Now, this is the video I was telling you about. And check out Steve Motley's channel and subscribe to it, guys. He's a retired Marine colonel. A lot of inside information. You see the title here. It says, "What the Marines discovered at the CIA headquarters at Langley will blow your mind." Came out yesterday. He talks about the QAnon leaker disclosures, full game plan for the elite globalist pedophile takedown. That's how serious this has gotten. And another thing that I've observed that Steve also has noticed, that mainstream media is turning on the Democrats, and they've linked mainstream media to the CIA. You see how these puzzle pieces fit? Not only that, he mentions what we talked about in the video the other day, that as soon as the Langley headquarters were raided and kind of put in, taken under control, they started bombing the poppy fields and the poppy labs in Afghanistan, where we've been fighting forever, just so they could prop up their black money, undercover money, at the expense of millions of human lives when it all comes down to it. That's being taken down. Their money source is. So how will the ones that were basically underground, and that's very possible, even though the Marines raided Langley, confiscated everything, there are units outside of that particular location, guys, around the world that will have to be dealt with. Check out Steve's video. I will link to it below. And guys, it's a heads up. Be safe. Again, make sure you got some extra food. On our website, you know that we have Patriot Supply food. This stuff is 20 years shelf life, and it will they've got deals going on now, and it will help your family survive. That link will also be here. This is a heads up. Be safe.